We're going to be making some freezer tomato sauce today out of fresh tomatoes. Winter is coming, and there's nothing better than having some tomato sauce in your freezer that you can pull out and you're not left with the cardboard tomatoes that you might get at the grocery store or the sauces that you can buy on the shelf that are usually full of a lot of sugar. So I do have one secret ingredient in this tomato sauce today too, so stick around until the end for the secret ingredient. It makes it really, really good. Okay, follow me to the kitchen and let's cook up a batch of freezer tomato sauce, put it in some freezer bags, and have it all winter long. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's start with the ingredients. 1 onion, some garlic, some salt, fresh basil, and some fresh thyme leaves. And this is some hot pepper and the secret ingredient, sumac. Sumac tastes great with tomatoes. Now this old-fashioned gadget called a food mill fits right over a bowl, and it's really handy to get all the peels and seeds out of your sauce. Now chop up an onion, take off the ends, and coarsely chop it. And when I say coarsely, it's important that you don't mince it or chop it really finely, because the onion juice is what makes it bitter, and you don't want a bitter sauce. So just chop it up coarsely any way that you want. This is the way I do it. Next comes the garlic. This will be coarsely chopped also. I'm taking about two large cloves off of the bulb, but it's very flexible. Just go according to what you like. 2 to 4 cloves would be good. And now let's take it to the stove. A little oil and saute the onions until they're nicely caramelized. Add the garlic just at the end. You only want the garlic to cook for about 30 seconds or it will burn. And now for those luscious tomatoes. I do have a farm, so I have access to a lot of different varieties of heirlooms, but just use what you've got. The more colors and taste, the more flavor you're going to have. I added a little salt and a little hot pepper and a little sumac. Here comes your fresh basil, and add a little thyme, and you're ready to meld all the ingredients over medium heat and cook it up into a luscious tomato sauce. This has been cooking now for about an hour over medium to medium-low heat. All right, let it cool just a little bit so you can deal with it, and then pour it into the food mill, which is secured over a big bowl. Now, a food mill is really easy to use. You do not have to use it. If you want the peels and the seeds in there, it's going to be fine. But most people like a tomato sauce that is more of a sauce that like they're used to. And here's what it looks like after the food mill has worked its magic. This is how thick or thin it looks, and if you want it thicker, you can always heat it up and reduce it over the stove. So, ready for the freezer. I don't really like using these plastic bags, but if you freeze a lot of things, you only have so much freezer space, and plastic bags will lay flat. So get all the air out, seal it up, label it, and into the freezer it goes. Okay, I have a freezer full of fresh tomato sauce with that secret ingredient, and it's ready to go for winter dishes. Subscribe below and you'll have access to all kinds of low-carb recipes, many of which will use this tomato sauce, many which won't, but are wonderful to try. I try to do weekly low-carb recipe cooking tutorials, so be sure and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.